Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Patchy Mix is officially in the UFC. Something about these Bellator slash PFL guys making their debut in the UFC. I know there are no easy fights when you get to the premier organization in the world, but I feel like these Bellator PFL guys are getting such hard debut fights. Most recently, obviously, we saw Patricio Pitbull. He's a little bit later in that career, but he gets Yair Rodriguez, not an easy fight stylistically whatsoever. And another name coming to mind, Michael Chandler coming into the UFC, getting Dan Hooker. So, yeah, the UFC seems to throw these guys to the wolves in that sense. But, you know, it has to be said that this is the premier organization and the level of competition here is truly unlike any other promotion in the world. So, with all of that being said, Patchy Mix is entering the UFC at a great time. Like, only 31 years old, he's still in the prime of his athletic career, especially in this weight class of 135 pounds. But talk about a tough test in your debut to fight Mario Bautista on, what, 3 weeks' notice or something like that. I know Mario Bautista is not the most fan favorite fighter because of that Jose Aldo performance, but the guy is on an absolute tear. He's won 7 or so fights in a row, and has looked really good doing it. Like, has elevated the level of competition and has beat some good guys. But I think Patchy Mix has, as crazy it is to say, I think he has fought the higher level of competition. Has been in the bigger spots, especially in a lot of 5 round fights, and is riding a 7 fight win streak himself. Stylistically, he's a very, very good grappler. His jiu-jitsu is, some of the best that you'll find in this division in the whole world, man. Like, his ability to find the back. He has a great guillotine. Yeah, very well versed in all of the grappling ranges. Now, I think he's going to need it in a fight like this against Bautista. Yes, Bautista is well rounded, but I think there's levels when it comes to the ground game. And just based on what we've seen Patchy Mix do to, like I said, top level fighters over in Bellator, like, he's beat some good names. Magomedov is a very, very good fighter, and he's beat him twice, man. Like Sergio Pettis, Rafion Stotts. He's had some really, really good wins, and I know those are going to be discredited to a sense because they're not in the UFC, but I think he's going to open a lot of eyes. He's really up against it in terms of the circumstances of the debut, doesn't have much time to prepare, and Mario Bautista is, surging, like we've said. Like, he's riding a very, very good win streak, putting pieces of his game together, and regardless of what the fans think of him as a fighter, he's very, very good. So, pretty unfortunate for Mario Bautista that the Cheeto Vera fight falls through again. Um, but this is a big name, and I think this matchup is going to have a lot of eyes on it just based on Patchy Mix coming over from Bellator. Um, I wouldn't necessarily say with a lot of hype, but the real ones know how dangerous Patchy Mix is within this division. So, very, very intriguing to see Patchy Mix slot into this bantamweight division that was already so stacked. And like I said, he's still in the athletic prime of his career. So if he can go in there, get his feet wet, and even beat Mario Bautista, can you imagine if he finishes subs Mario Bautista? Like, yeah, people are going to have to really discuss him as one of the next title challengers, man, because he has been there, done that. I know it hasn't been in the UFC, but when you talk about someone experienced coming into the UFC, you can't pick up much more experience under your belt uh, than what Patchy Mix has done outside of the UFC. So, very, very intriguing signing. Let me know what you guys think, not only about him coming over to the UFC, but how he matches up against Mario Bautista on 3 weeks' notice. Like, savage move accepting that sort of fight. Very, very interesting as well, like, from the matchmaker's perspective. But yeah, I think they like to throw these Bellator guys to the wolves a little bit just to see if they can swim at the top end of these divisions. So I don't hate it, to be totally honest with you. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, I would really, really appreciate that. And we will chat soon.